So where is it? Right here. So this was a live stream that took place yesterday. It was the live stream that Corey Marshall held, and that's him and his daughter right there on the screen that you see. Him and his daughter Katana live streamed on November 19th, yesterday, because this was the 1 year anniversary of Shenmue 3. And Shenmue 3 was officially launched on Steam, and it's got a great sale going on right now that you can, of course, take advantage of on Steam, where it's, I believe, 66% off until January 25th. So go pick up Shenmue 3 if you're interested. And I believe at the end of the stream, I think Corey Marshall was excited to do more live streams. So that's definitely exciting news that he's streaming Shenmue. We're streaming Shenmue here, but we're doing an analysis of Shenmue, and that's good stuff. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I like to talk about games, especially nostalgic games, and lately I've been doing the Shenmue series. We're on episode 7, and I'm broadcasting live on Twitch. Now, Twitch I'm still kind of new to, and what I figured out recently is that the more followers I pick up, the more higher I can become an affiliate. That I knew, but one of the ways to get more followers, which I didn't really realize, is just have a schedule. So having a schedule for you guys makes it a lot easier for you guys to jump in when I'm live streaming and then know that I'm actually on. Now, if you're watching the rebroadcast on YouTube, definitely check out twitch.tv/Magnus547. I've got a schedule. I'm going to try to schedule Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, these episodes every week, because I also want to do a few more added things like continue on with the Game Sales Guy episodes, continue on talking about gaming. I just wanted to focus on how I wanted to have my Twitch streams to work before I continued on with my other regular videos on my YouTube channel, Personal Magnus. So working out all that scheduling. And if you don't know, I also have another channel which I talk about mostly cameras, such as this big fat camera that I've got going on here. So I'm doing a ton of content, and believe it or not, with all of this, I'm managing to host a full-time job as well. So it's all a lot of content, a lot of producing that I'm doing, but it's totally fun and it's totally worth it. So let's get on with episode 7, getting a job at the docks. Let me close this screen. Let me higher the volume on Shenmue. Get us back to where we were. Let me know if that's too loud or if that's just right. And let's get back to the gameplay. So, alright, let's go. So, where were we? Well, to sum up the first 6 episodes at the best that I possibly can, Ryo's father was murdered. You found his murder. Murder was Chinese mafia. The main guy who murdered him was Lan Di. As you're trying to find him, you find out that people who might know him might be gang related. This gang known as the I'm suddenly forgetting the gang's name, but a gang who works at the docks, or the gang that operates off of the docks, is there, and you want to find out more information from them. And you also find out that there's a mirror that you have that was not stolen, because that guy who killed your father only stole one mirror. You want to find out what that's about. But let's continue on. This light is kind of bright in front of me, but I hope that's okay. Now look at this. Again, dreaming of Shenmue, and he's never met her. Now these dreams were pretty interesting. I'll tell you why in a second, from a gamer's perspective. Again, dreaming of this mysterious girl we never met. Definitely welcome to my channel. Let me know that you're here if you're watching. Okay, saw him at warehouse number 18. Be quicker to find it. As the foreman saw him at warehouse number 18. Okay. So, alright, so the significance of Shenmue is pretty deep, because, okay, rich little boy getting his rich little allowance. I know I tease him every time he gets that money, but man, kind of irks me sometimes. I think I'll run through the yard and everything. So, the problem, I mean, the problem with showing Shenhua these dreams and everything is that in the actual cover, game cover, in Dreamcast for Shenmue, Shenhua was on the cover. Shenhua is, you've seen her in this game. Shenhua was in the intro that I kind of skipped over. Actually, do I have any food for the kitten? I don't know. I just walked in here.
Oh, hi, Dill.
Hi, Megumi. What's up?
Look, up there.
Because her leg is healed.
But I'm worried she can't come down.
Don't worry. Cats like high places.
Really? Oh,
Uh-oh.
oh my.
Her leg seems fine. It's no problem, Megumi.
Okay.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Nozomi,
That was
Hi, Rio.
is that medicine?
Megumi was worried, so...
Right.
Hi, Nozomi. Her leg's okay now.
That's good.
Guess we don't need this. Well, gotta get back to the shop.
Okay. We could have walked together. I'm headed that way too. But I gotta be honest with you guys, that's the first time I've ever seen that cutscene. 20 years later, that's the first time I've ever seen that cutscene. It's pretty cool what you could discover after playing this game for so long and still seeing new stuff, which is... what is going on here?
Hey.
Hey, mister. Wanna play with me?
No.
Sorry. Maybe later, okay?
He looks like he's mad because he lost his money or something. Anyway, going down. So, I was trying to get to a point with Shenhua. Okay, so Shenhua, she was in the cover of the Dreamcast. She was featured in magazines. She's been dreamt about in this game. And here's a spoiler if you don't already know this, but I'm sure most of you do know this. You never meet her in this entire first disc at all. And that in itself is pretty mysterious. Because it's like, why promote her so much? Why talk about Shenhua so much? What significance is Shenhua when she's not even in the first Shenmue at all? And that in itself gets you to think, well, there's got to be a strong connection to Rio. What's the strong connection between Rio and Shenhua? Right? She's from China, you're here. She doesn't know who her parents are. You don't know who your mom is. She's adopted. She grew up in Guilin, and Iwao, which I theorized in another previous episode. My theory is that he was married and had Rio. Rio was born in China. Or if not born in China, his mom was pregnant in China, but at the very least there's history there. But I do think that his possible sibling could be Shenhua, and they actually might be related. Maybe, maybe not. We never found out who Rio's mom is, and we don't know who Shenhua's actual parents are. It's just a theory that I like to throw around. Anyway, yeah, let me maximize the game screen now that we're getting started with the real thing. Thanks, I totally got involved in there. Good looking out on that part. So what are we trying to do? We were at the docks. And at the docks, we were trying to get to find out how to get a job here. Now, I recall he leads you to... That guardsman leads you to warehouse number 18, where he's like, hey, you should check out around warehouse number 12. I'm going to talk to this guy here once again to make sure that I should head there.
Can I help you?
I want to get a job in the harbor.
A job? I'm sorry, but we have more than enough workers right now.
I see. Do you know any company accepting applications for workers?
Are you still in high school?
Yes.
Very few companies hire high school students at the harbor, you know.
Is that so?
I saw someone your age recently. He was looking for work too.
Was he a high school student?
I think so, but he looked pretty delinquent. He was around warehouse number 12.
I see.
Let's go to warehouse number 12. And I think now it's early enough that we can possibly get what we need to get off of warehouse number 12. So let's run there. And again, we run faster than this guy jogging. I knew he was going to cross in front of me. This is warehouse number 12. Let's see what's going on.
Yo, dude!
Oh, you.
Seem a bit blue, my man? Got a problem? Then I'm your man!
Yeah, right.
I know everything about this here harbor! Whatever it is, just ask!
I want a job here. What should I do?
So wanna be a sailor, hey? That's cool, man! Personally, it ain't for me. I get seasick.
Enough.
Whoa, wait, hold up! I'll help you, man! I just happen to know a number of foremen in charge of cargo!
Really?
Hey, anything for you, bro?
Can you ask?
Ooh, well... Okay, meet me at noon tomorrow, in front of the big blue door of warehouse number 1.
12 noon, warehouse number 1, in front of the big blue door.
Right on, bro. See ya.
So now at this point of the game, you have to wait until the next day. So it's nothing to do here but kill some time. So at this point, there's not much to find in this area. But just get familiar with the docks, where all the places are, or where you can go. I'm pretty familiar with this dock, so it's all alright. I'm just gonna go back and try to beat a record. That's right, I'm gonna try to beat one of my own records in this game. Make sure I'm running the right way. I say I'm familiar, but I'm like, where the heck is it? It's through here. So I'm going to try to beat one of my old records in the arcade while we wait for the next day. And that's one of the upsides but downsides of Shenmue, is that there's no time skip. So if you want to get to the next event, like, you have to basically wait real time. And it's not even noon this day. And you have to wait tomorrow around, what was it, 1 p.m. or something? Let me check the book. Tomorrow around noon at warehouse number 1. So that's a full day, but that's fine. We'll think of something else to do throughout the whole day. Another interesting thing about Shenmue, because I know a ton of facts, is that Shenmue came out in November of 2000 in the United States, but it came out in 1999 on the Dreamcast in Japan. Now, in November of 2000, it was pretty much the PlayStation 2 was released, or about to be released. I'm not sure if it was the same day or around the same time, but PlayStation 2 was released. Dreamcast needed a killer app, and Shenmue was one of those apps that was going to be, or meant to be, the killer app. But it was mounting a lot of pressure to compete with the PlayStation 2. I mean, there was, the Dreamcast itself was priced at $199 on release. They on September 9th, 1999, which is an insane price for what was considered a next-generation console. But even all the hype that it built up, and it built pretty much a big hype. There was, in the first weekend that it was released, or the first few days, it shipped 200,000 units, which at the time was a record. Of course, now I bet the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X is way ahead of that. But at the time, it was pretty unprecedented. In fact, I picked up a Dreamcast on launch day that afternoon, and they were doing pretty well, and I was just floored by the graphics when it came out. But of course, it was always that lingering PlayStation 2's coming out. Everyone's talking about PlayStation 2, and then Sega's Dreamcast went from a hot item to like, wait, what? I can't wait for PlayStation 2. Its graphics are going to be so better. And that's what mattered, and it shouldn't have, really, because I'd almost rather play this game whose graphics doesn't come anywhere near the PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X. But I'd rather play this game than most of its launch titles, if any. I mean, Spider-Man Miles Morales looks pretty cool, but
One game,
I can tell you that from this day, I can play this for a lot longer than I can Xbox Series X. So I'm going to try. I have 872,000 as my last record here. We're going to kill time as I continue to talk about the legacy of Shenmue. Anyway, when the game launched, Shenmue launched with excitement, of course, but it was a lot of like, what is this Shenmue? The original commercial that was released when Shenmue came out was directed by a couple of directors, or one director that had no idea what Shenmue was about or how to even advertise the game. So if you look at the commercial, it has some pretty cool stuff about it, but for the most part, the commercial has nothing to do with the gameplay, nothing to do with any of the storyline. It's just a girlfriend who punches out her boyfriend while in bed over jealousy over Nozomi, as if Nozomi's a love interest, when we all know, if you play this game, Nozomi's not much of a love interest at all. In fact, Ryo should have considered her a love interest, but he never did. At least in this first game. So, a lot of confusion, but also another crippling fact when it comes to the Dreamcast about Shenmue is that since it costs so much, in order to recoup the costs that Sega put into this game, every Dreamcast owner in existence would have had to buy Shenmue twice in order to break even on the cost of Shenmue, which was damn near an impossibility. So one would ask themselves, why even bother making this game and this expensive and releasing it on a Dreamcast, a system that didn't have enough owners of the system, if you needed to recoup so much money? Well, the idea is Shenmue was supposed to be a system seller. It was supposed to drive more people to get excited about the Sega Dreamcast and purchase the game, and purchase a Dreamcast just to buy the game, which didn't quite work out as they planned. Now, if you know anything about the Dreamcast history too, you know that in early 2001, Dreamcast, dang, I messed up. But Dreamcast itself didn't go past March before Sega said, yeah, we're not going to continue to support this system. We're going to become a third-party developer, which myself personally was heartbroken, because it's like another Sega system not being supported or dying too soon. I owned the Sega Genesis, which did well, but I originally owned the Sega Master System, which was Sega's 8-bit version of a console that was to compete against Nintendo. I'll stop paying attention again because I'm trying to talk. I usually do better, as you can see on my score. But you know, it didn't do well. So I was happy when I got the Genesis, but I got the Sega CD as well, and Sega CD did not fare as well as one would have liked. I didn't pick up the Saturn because I knew that the Saturn was not doing well in the States. So by the time Dreamcast came out, it was like, come on, Sega, can we get it right? And it looked like they were going to get it right at first. But then when competition steered its ugly head and sales were just not there for the console, it was pretty sad. But there was always one thing that was looming in the Sega history, and that was Shenmue 2. Shenmue 1 ended on a cliffhanger, if you didn't know. Hey Monstep, how are you? So Shenmue ended on a cliffhanger. I won't spoil what the cliffhanger is if you're just watching this later. But this cliffhanger was so just kind of like left you wanting more. It was one of those like cliffhangers that just leave you wishing you can get more out of the game and things unfinished. That you were wondering, how am I going to see Shenmue 2? And you can tell, at least by a lot of the early history stuff of Shenmue, that a Shenmue 2 had to be inevitable. A lot of videos that were released back in late 90s and early 2000s that were hyping Shenmue showed footage of Shenmue 2. I mean, I remember seeing footage of Ryo running through a forest with Shenhua for Shenmue 2. And wondering, okay, when is this stuff gonna happen? Maybe it's disc 3. And it just never happened in Shenmue 1. So Shenmue 2, if it was almost complete, but Sega's bowing out, I believe it was March 2001. Only a few months after Shenmue came out, one would think like, what, where are we gonna finally play Shenmue 2? And then Shenmue 2 was, I heard, was then released in Japan. I want another prize, that's why I'm doing this. I'm gonna spend all this spoiled kid's money until he gets a prize. Hopefully he'll get a prize. So, yeah, and it was released in Europe as well, but we didn't get it in the States, or we were hearing nothing about getting it in the States for a while, and then when I heard that it was out in Europe, I was like, I will get that imported somehow. So, what ended up happening is, I was trying to figure out how to get a retailer to import it for me. Even though I had an American-based Dreamcast, I had a boot disc that I burned myself off of a CDR. At that time, unfortunately, Dreamcast was also rampant with, the fact that its copy protection was not as well as it should have been, and you could get around it with a mil CD glitch that was on the original Dreamcast.
No prize.
And that glitch allowed you to not only play bootleg or backup games, but also let you import games without any issue. So I wanted to get Shenmue 2 imported. And there was a local game store that was like a block and a half away from where I lived. I live in the States, actually close to where I live now. And I walked in one day and they had Japanese owners, and they just had Shenmue 2, the PAL version, right on their stand. And I was like, I just walked in. I wasn't even searching for Shenmue 2. And they were like, yeah, it's here. Do you want it? I was like, heck yeah. I paid for it right away.
Excuse me.
And
Sorry.
then they were like, hey, you can't play that on your American Dreamcast. You need to buy this launch disc. And I was like, no thanks, I'm good. They're like, you'll be back. I'm like, no, I won't. So I went straight home, bought it. Yes, I bought it at game sales. I bought it, and he was like, well, all right then. And I was all excited. And and as soon as I popped it in and experienced Shenmue 2, now I knew that they had no English dub, which I was okay with. I was so excited that those first intro scenes of Shenmue 2, and it picking up right where the first Shenmue left off, was so satisfying. But at the same time, it was disheartening because it's like, okay, Shenmue 2 better be like
help you?
wrapping this story up pretty nicely, because if not, I'm gonna be really pissed, because the Dreamcast it doesn't seem like it's gonna last much longer. So after that disappointment,
No prize.
dang, I can spend a lot of money, but I'm gonna get no
Especially since you
prize
bought
here.
merchandise.
So after that disappointment, I was pretty sad, and I actually was working at the time, and that's how I had internet access. My Dreamcast and my job was how I had internet access, because I did not have a computer at the time. Back in those early days, it was dial-up,
Ryo,
and there was something.
Nozomi.
Oh,
What
Nozomi
happened?
interrupts again.
something's happened, hasn't it?
No.
A
So
fight?
No, it's not that.
Please, you gotta stay out of trouble.
I'm gonna see if I could
I'm
actually
fine.
practice my moves and get
No.
my
But what
training
if
up,
something happened to you?
in case I
Don't
get into
worry.
another fight,
Promise me
which
you'll take care.
does not happen enough
Yeah,
in this
See
game.
you later.
So dial-up was the thing back then, and I used to actually play online on the Dreamcast, and because it came with a modem that you can just dial up and play online, which everyone does today now, and we take it for granted at everything we can do. Like, the fact that I'm streaming on the internet right now and have people watching me is like next level coolness to me, because I was lucky to get like 5 minutes on the internet, because you used to have to use a regular like phone
It looks
line
like I can practice here.
to
I should work on my moves.
even browse the
I'll
internet.
lose my edge if I don't
So,
practice.
Again, I know that we're at a blessing point at this point. I'm super blessed, but what point was I trying to get to? So while being at work and being watching the internet, I loved like little articles that I could read online from like GameSpot.com at the time. There was a website that I used to love a lot too that was called Daily Radar. It was a gaming site that just updated their stuff every day, which I absolutely appreciated, because not enough websites did that back in the day. And Daily Radar was where I learned from Shenmue. Daily Radar actually first taught me about E3, because when I first heard of E3, it was because I wanted to go, because I wanted to see anything that they possibly might have had on Shenmue. So I remember reading an article that Shenmue was signed, or Sega signed an exclusivity deal for a few games like Jet Set Radio Future, but also for the release of Shenmue 2, which to me meant, alright, I'm going to be able to play Shenmue 2 on Xbox. Maybe I should get an Xbox. And I did pick up Xbox, and I did pick up Shenmue 2 for Xbox. Believe it or not, that's the only game I would play on the Xbox, because even though I couldn't be a Sega fan, I was more of a, if you're gonna take the place of Sega, then you're gonna take the place of it for me. I was more of a PlayStation fan. Plus, I loved the Metal Gear series. I've talked about that before on my gaming channel, but Shenmue was just the game that I want to continue. So I played it on Xbox. The English voices threw me off a little bit, because at that point I was so used to the Japanese voices that hearing all the stuff in English was like a little jarring, but it was nice to hear Corey Marshall and the rest of the cast reprising their roles. I did play the Passport disc in the first Shenmue. But I didn't use it too much, but I did love the Passport disc. And I was looking for a Passport disc on Shenmue 2, which they unfortunately didn't have. Let me see if I can go somewhere else or do something else at this point. You know what? I want to try out darts. Might as well get the gaming portion going, because it's a whole day you gotta wait, and see if there are any other cutscenes that I have missed. Anyway, so Shenmue 3. Waiting for Shenmue 3, which, like I said, it's been a year since the game came out. It's available on Steam now. Shenmue 3 was something that, of course, I wanted to happen, because after the end of Shenmue 2, you're like, yes, we have to have a Shenmue
One
3.
game, 100 yen.
We definitely have to have a Shenmue 3. But what ended up happening is that it was questioned as
Maybe I'll
to,
play
okay, should we make a full-on Shenmue 3, or should we change it up a bit? Because Shenmue lost a lot of money, and gamers were really starting to gravitate towards internet games, online games. Multiplayer gaming was catching on, and Shenmue wasn't really a multiplayer
Not too
game.
bad.
So if it wasn't catching the latest fad, should the series continue, especially if it's a storyline that wasn't so successful but had to continue? So it's like, if you're not familiar with the series, why would you even want to play it?
Not too bad.
So the idea, I believe, now those are my thoughts, but I believe that's where the idea of Shenmue Online came from. It's like, alright, you need support for a game and a lot of people to catch on to it. You're gonna have to make it online.
Alright.
Alright, I did pretty good there. So Shenmue Online was an idea pitched. There were trailers that came out for it.
So close.
Dang, so close. There were trailers that came out for it. There was like there's interesting changes of gameplay that the trailers introduced, but it never was released. In fact, in my opinion, everything I saw about it looked pretty glitchy. No good. It looked pretty glitchy and not as polished as Shenmue should be. So because of that, or at least that's one of the reasons, I believe that Shenmue Online was just canned, amongst, I'm sure, development hell that it probably went through. Yeah, that was not a good toss. So from then on, Shenmue itself was pretty much dead on the water. I mean, Shenmue 3 was, in my eyes, besides being rumored and talked about for next generation consoles and trying to be worked on, because Sega was a third-party developer, and I do kind of, I know this might sound pretty bad, but I do kind of blame the Yakuza series. And even though Yakuza has nothing to do with Shenmue, I mean, it had some of the developers of Shenmue actually helped develop Yakuza. In my opinion, no good. That was bad.
The last game.
Third game, last game, okay. Yakuza, in my opinion, seemed to be like a nice escape, at least for some fans of Shenmue, to kind of go towards a series that was being successful. And in Sega eyes, Shenmue was a successful IP that you could actually get behind. But Shenmue didn't seem that way, because the story absolutely was vital to the game. Yes, the Shenmue revolutionized open world gameplay. Shenmue revolutionized the use, or the modern use, of QTEs. Shenmue revolutionized the game within a game concept, so many things. But was Shenmue something that if you said to a casual gamer that they would recognize as easily as they would recognize something like Grand Theft Auto or Madden NFL or NBA 2K, which was originally a Sega property before Take-Two took it over? This is why I like the 2K series, because it started off belonging to Sega. And to me, I just gravitate towards that.
Whoa, the high score!
Okay, so I got the high score.
Wow, man, you're pretty good.
I have gotten the bad ending to Shenmue before, but that was purposely getting the bad ending. I had to really push to get that bad ending, because I didn't find Shenmue's story to progress difficult at all. Let's see what songs we've got in here.
100 yen a song.
Classic
Maybe
songs.
Just one song.
So to me, I I've only saw it because I just like pushed for it, which was not easy. I just roamed around Shenmue just to see what I can do. Alright. Final Takeoff. Final Takeoff is a song. I like all these songs, but Final Takeoff is a song that I absolutely love. It's actually from the Afterburner series. And I loved Afterburner. Afterburner was a game that I had for Sega Master System, which is pretty cool. Let's try QTE Title 2. So, as I progress in this game, let's see if I can answer another question. You think the Sega games on Xbox, Jet Set Radio Future, Shenmue 2, and Panzer Dragoon Orta would have sold better on PlayStation 2 and would have a living and healthy franchise as Yakuza did? Good question.
I'll play
Those Sega franchises, see, Xbox wanted to lean on Sega so heavily. They wanted to replace the Dreamcast. That's why they got all those Sega properties, because they wanted to be the answer for all those jilted Dreamcast owners, right? But Xbox had taken off because of Halo and because of other first-party titles, but mostly Halo. They were definitely a Halo and multiplayer house, that they eventually realized we don't need Sega properties or to push Sega properties. So they didn't. And those series, I do believe, would have fared better on PlayStation, but PlayStation itself was also a very saturated market when it comes to games. So yes, PlayStation sold better, had more consoles out there. I think they broke records when it comes to most consoles sold. There's over 100 million PlayStation 2s that exist out there in the world right now because of the popularity. So I do think that it would have fared better in, or at least those franchises would have fared better in PlayStation. Would they still be alive today? Not sure. Because PlayStation has way too many titles right now. They had Sega titles as well too. They had Sonic, a few Sonic series games were released on Xbox and on PlayStation 2 and on GameCube. GameCube was really the Sonic Sega house, I believe. But yeah, I don't think that those series would have fared too much better, and they'd be just as recognized as they are today. Meaning it's not mainstream, it's really hardcore fans that recognize those titles. But at the same time, I mean, I don't know. Like, Yakuza series, it did well because it was a new, fresh game that was actually geared towards fans that would like or desire more of that open world gameplay that was similar to Grand Theft Auto. Because Yakuza did have a lot in common with Shenmue, of course. Because Shenmue was an open world game, and Shenmue used martial arts. But at the time, Grand Theft Auto took what Shenmue did and just kind of expanded on it. And that expansion was in a style that was a little bit more badass. So then Yakuza took that badass style and then incorporated that open world feeling onto the series. So that's why I think that Yakuza did better, because Yakuza was appealing more to a modern audience, more to like kind of like a, you know, villain as the hero type of mentality. Alright, I'm done playing games here. I want to see if there's some cutscenes that I can experience that I haven't experienced before, like I already have, because usually I just did nothing at this point. I want to see if there's anything going on in Sakuragaoka or Yamanose or anywhere, just to see if something's going on. So on with the... Oh, here we go. She stops you every time you pass her by.
Something's happened, hasn't it?
This cutscene is inevitable.
Fight?
No, it's not that.
It's like,
Please, you gotta
I don't
stay
know,
out of
Nozomi.
trouble.
I'm
Can
fine.
you stop?
Ryo, what
Leave
if
me
something
alone.
happened to you?
That's
Don't
kind of what
worry.
Rio's like at this
Promise
point.
me
He
you'll
just
take
wants to be
care.
left alone.
Yeah. See you later.
Again, doesn't notice, doesn't care to notice. But I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. So Nozomi wants attention. Nozomi's obviously swooning over Rio, right? And Rio doesn't give her any attention. She's trying to be a friend, but also something more. However, if she's constantly getting treated the way that Rio's treating her, she's got to get to the point where, like, you know what? Fine, you go do what you have to do. I'm gonna do what I have to do, and I'm gonna be just fine without you. Kind of make Rio worry about her, because if not, then why would he ever care?
Mishima-san.
Oh, hello,
Right?
Rio. It's so terribly cold today, isn't
It's
it?
cold.
I know, you're always so healthy, aren't you?
I suppose so.
Okay, going back home, or at least home this way. See if anything will happen, or any cutscenes will happen here. Anyway, let's jump back to the story of what can possibly be going on with Rio now, and with what's going on now. Well, Rio's mission right now, as he knocks on a stranger's door.
I don't think anybody's
Just
in.
because I wish this game, when I first played this game, I wanted to go in everyone's house. And no one would ever let me in. Oh, you live here? No wonder. Yeah, I want nothing to do with you. Wait, where's she going? Let's see where this NPC goes. It's interesting how they program these NPCs to live out their daily lives. They walk so robotic. But can I go up? It doesn't seem to be letting me go up there. Oh, yes I am. Where's she going? Where's she going? That's her door. She opened it. It won't let me go forward. She closed the door. Now I can walk. Can I knock on the door? Let me in. I know you're in there.
Who is it?
I'm Ryo Hazuki from Yamanose. I need to ask you something.
I'm sorry. I'm in the middle of cooking right now.
I understand. I'll come by again.
I guess she is. That's pretty cool. Finally, someone answered the door for me. I never even bothered to check usually while playing this game. But I figured, kill some time. Oh, here comes another person. They'll probably be cooking too. Or not. She's too young to cook. Where's she going? She going in there? Yeah. I'm gonna knock on that door. See what happened. Tell me you're not
Excuse
cooking.
me?
Yes?
Ryo Hazuki from Yamanose.
Oh, hello, Rio.
Open the door.
Sorry, but Mama says she's busy and that you should come back tomorrow.
I see. Sorry to have bothered you. Okay, I'll come back later.
Bye-bye.
It's cool. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna say that this is cool. They just got home, so you know somebody's home, and they actually programmed in responses, even though they weren't gonna open the door for poor Rio. But they actually programmed responses, and the fact that legitimately they're home, so they can answer, rather than it just being like, because the developers could have just had him knock on the door and say, huh, no one's home. But they did know. The character's there, the character's going to respond. Which is
Fuku-san.
pretty cool.
Ryo-san, if there's something bugging you, come to the dojo. We'll spar for a while.
Yeah.
Alright, then let's spar. Now this scene, at least when it reaches 7 p.m. from the home, is pretty cool. And the lighting effects too here, they may look cool here, but the lighting effects did exist back then
I
as
should
well.
work on my moves.
Yeah, let's work on some moves a little
I'll
bit
lose
more.
my edge if I don't practice.
Again, training is important, and as you've seen me play this game, Rio himself hasn't gotten into many scuffles. That'll change as we progress in this version of the game, but the fact that he hasn't gotten in many scuffles means you should be training, because if it starts to happen, especially if you're going after the Mad Angels, I finally remembered their name, you should be trained and ready. And we know that in this game, if you play this game, it gets hectic. It gets totally hectic. Mastered another move. And that's what's cool. You can master moves in this game without even getting trained or know about them. I could have bought a lot of move scrolls as well, which I probably should have done throughout the day. But having the ability to do different moves and have a nice little level of RPG style leveling up when it comes to different martial arts moves is pretty cool. And the complex, I mean, look at this laundry list of moves that you can play and remember move lists from. This is what I call in-depth like fighting tactics, and something like this and as complex as this is only really available in like fighting games, but yet they threw it in this RPG style game, which is pretty cool. There was actually one thing I wanted to search for in the basement of the dojo, which I'm going to go to now. See, I was searching in the past, I was searching in a previous episode for hints towards... Oh, do I have my flashlight? Yeah. Okay. I was looking for hints towards Iwal's history and why would he hide things in this this corner of the dojo. The reason Iwal would hide things in this dojo, besides the mirror, because if you want to hide the mirror, fine, hide the mirror. But he hid everything, all of these items here, for a reason. He hid them because he didn't want anyone finding out about them. And all of these items come from China. And this is important.
It's father when he was young, but who's that with him?
Who's that with him? Photo of father with a friend. Let's look at this photo, because it's pretty significant. Alright, let's see if there's anything in the back of it. I've never gotten this translated, but it would be interesting to know what that says. But in the front, this is Iwao Hazuki. He looks much younger, like he's living a pretty fun life. He's obviously in a gi, so he's been training out there. But if you can see that there's leaves falling, where is he? Why are leaves falling and he's next to a tree? Could that be the tree that we all know and recognize towards the end of Shenmue 2, where we really find out what the meaning of Shenmue is? And that person next to him, I have theorized, and I know that others have theorized, that's actually Landi's father. And it's the person who Iwao kills, and the reason why he gets killed in the beginning of Shenmue, of this whole saga. And it looks like they were friends. And that's why Iwao says, keep friends and those you love close to you. Because his closeness to his friend right here led to, or at least that getting separated because they were no longer friends, led to eventually that man's death by the hands of Iwao. Now I theorize, and I know this was extreme, that the reason that they fought was a misunderstanding or a cause of death of Ryo's mom. And I think that Landi's dad had an accidental death to Ryo's mom, causing Iwao to get angry, fight him, total misunderstanding, and then kill him. So he loses his wife and his best friend. So then he takes his son, Ryo, who's just a baby, and moves to Japan. And he takes the mirrors with him because the misunderstanding also had to do with the Phoenix and Dragon Mirror that were in the possession of Iwao in the city of Bailu, which is where this took place. And now, because of all of this being pretty much a dark past of Iwao, everything in Iwao's dark past is in this room. So if you want to know what was involved in his past, you look at the items that are in this room. What does this have to do with anything? This phoenix.
Even a starving eagle
or
never
eagle.
steals. Like my father always said, never cheat, even during a struggle.
If you notice, an eagle in the intro sequence flies around. That eagle has a meaning, and that eagle had a meaning towards Iwao, and that's why he looked at it. These items are items that look similar to items that were in Bailu Village when you walk around. A lot of this is, linked to at least China and Bailu Village.
Elixir of Eternal
Elixir
Youth.
of
I
Eternal
remember
Youth.
my father telling me about it being used by martial arts experts in China.
Martial arts
Where did
experts
father
in
get
China.
this?
Where did your father get this? In Bailu Village. That's where he got it. If you notice, if you've ever played Shenmue 3, which you can pick up for on sale right now on Steam, as well as Epic Game Store. You choose where you want to get it and you get it. But there is a drunken master, or seemingly a drunken master, who trains Ryo because he wants to meet the gang members over there. We'll eventually get there when the series gets to that point. That drunken master, what is he drinking? Obviously he's eating stuff that you bring to him, but I believe let's actually go to sleep now. We got to progress this story. We've been going for 52 minutes and barely progressed the story. I believe that some of what he was drinking could have possibly been, besides the drinks that he liked, because he wanted expensive drinks, but some of that could have been at least mixed in with the Elixir of Eternal Youth. Potentially. I don't know. It's just a theory. But that Elixir of Eternal Youth has significance to Iwao. And I think it has significance to this story. But, again, my point is, that location tells you everything that you need to know from Iwao's past, and why or what his life was like in China. And I believe there's a lot of clues into the fact that he was in love with someone in China. And of course, yeah, I've got way past that. And of course, the reason that he had to leave China, which is that photograph that we picked up. So, let's go back to the docks, because we need a job. We had to wait till noon, can you believe that? But we're gonna finally get that job. And there you go, spoiled kid picks up his money, didn't have to work for it, but you're gonna have to eventually work for it. Let's actually go into the yard and make our slow way to the docks, just in case there are additional cutscenes that we find. Just in case, just because by browsing casually, I've run into cutscenes in this game that I've never seen before, with you guys pretty much watching me, which is pretty cool. And for everyone who said a comment in this stream, I want to just thank you so much. I'm actually trying to get one of like the achievements, because that's another thing I learned from how Twitch works, is that if five of you on this chat, like during while I'm streaming, actually say a comment, I would have achieved another goal. Like, and that's so simple. Like 5 people in a conversation, that's awesome. And so just for everyone who's commented, Monsta, Balzagi, super thanks to you. I'll shout you out if you comment too. The another three commenters, because if I get 5, that's another achievement, and that's one step closer to affiliate, and it will actually inspire me to do a lot more of these videos and produce more what you guys like. And of course, I know slow and steady. I can't believe that at this point in the game, and in this point in my streaming career, I've been streaming for a little bit over a week now on Twitch. And it was by accident. The long story short of me streaming on Twitch was that I've been doing live streams on YouTube for a while. And I have pretty good turnouts. I had an average around 15 to 20 people. My largest stream had like 200 at the same time attending the stream, which was insane because I did a live stream for a Shenmue 3. It was Magic Monaco, and they were going to show some, or it was rumored that they were going to show some like Shenmue 3 gameplay. And this was in early 2019, before Shenmue was out. And it was like when Avengers, I think Infinity War came out. So it was like the morning of, and I had tickets to watch Infinity War. But I was like streaming at 4 a.m. and I had over 200 people watching me as we were watching Magic Monaco, and it was like nuts. And it was for Shenmue. So Shenmue has done a lot for me from a streaming perspective. But YouTube, when I had a stream timed and scheduled on YouTube like crashed. It stopped working. Nobody can work on stream to stream or anything. Or was it it was Endgame then? It was one of them. Thanks, Bazalgi. So what I did was I decided to stream on Twitch, and that was like a week and a day ago, or I think, or maybe it was a week ago today. It was whenever I had that stream scheduled. And at that point, I had 0 followers, 0 idea how to effectively stream on Twitch. And now here we are, and I thank you guys. I've got 11 followers today. 4 of you guys are watching now, and to me, that's a lot for a heck of a new series. When I was streaming for that first week, that I was streaming on YouTube, or actually first couple months, I would stream and I had maybe 1 person or maybe nobody watching the entire time. It was fine with me. Like, for me, I still have fun streaming, and then the fact that it's backed up and others could watch later is super awesome. So if you're watching this on YouTube later, you get just as much thanks as everyone else does. But really, for those people watching on Twitch, thank you. For those that followed me on Twitch, huge thanks. And if I get up to 50 followers, I'm like pretty much that close to affiliate status. But I do absolutely need that the chat conversation keeps up and whatever. So I will shout you out if you're a part of this chat. So definitely Monster Dab and Balzagi, you guys are awesome in my perspective. You're pretty much where it's at. And anyone who takes part in the chat is awesome. All of you guys are awesome. But this is what we're here for. We're here for the Shenmue love and attention. Anyway, I had to go to warehouse number 1 by noon, right? Warehouse number 1 by noon. Let's see. This has no warehouse number. It's the big open doors he said to go to. Warehouse number 18 is there. 12 through 17 is there. 1 through 11 is here. This is 8. Maybe I missed it. Maybe we should find it. Warehouse number 1. Why am I being so like It's because I'm paying attention to a lot of things right now. Number 2, there's warehouse number 1. It's not noon yet. I'm way
Excuse me.
early, but you know,
I'm afraid
I'm all
it's
excited.
dangerous.
I'm afraid
No
it's
loitering
dangerous.
allowed.
So he said no loitering allowed, right? So what I'm going to do is loiter right in front of him. Like, you said no loitering allowed. I'm loitering. I'm hanging out. What's up? And he just looks right past me. Does he have any arms? It almost looks like he has no arms. His arms are behind his back. But from this perspective, homeboy looks like he's got no arms. But he does have arms.
Hey, stop!
Oh man, I was
This
gonna
area is
run in there.
prohibited without authorization. Hey, get out of here!
I love that. Hey, get out of here. Always funny to me. Alright, so we gotta hang around until noon, which noon is just a short time here. I've been streaming for an hour and you guys have hung on to me with very little story progression. I almost wish I did this like offline so we could just continue the story, but I guess we had a lot to talk about anyway. So that's pretty cool too. Well, I mean, what do you guys think? If you have any comments, what do you guys think of my theories when it comes to Iwal's past? That there's a lot to discuss from that perspective too. But I guess we'll explore that, especially when we get later in the game, because that's going to be pretty interesting and awesome. Right now, I think that Rio's mentality is insanely patient for what is going on with him right now, because again, it may be strange to say this, but for him it's December 18th, 1986. It hasn't been a month since his father was murdered, and he witnessed that. His birthday just passed by. He's 18 years old. He found out about a lot of shady things going on in his town. Things that he never heard of. He didn't even know a tattoo parlor existed. He hung out in a shady part of town, fought people who he never thought he'd meet, fought sailors who were pretty much connected to a gang, the Mad Angels, realizing that he's messing with the Mad Angels. And now, because they had to do with the death of his father, he's so like entwined that he's like, I need to get this job. I need to find out who the Mad Angels are. I need to go to Hong Kong. I need, like, not caring about anything but revenge. Again, his character growth is minimal at this point. Everything is handed to him. He's in a familiar place. Even though these are new happenings, he's a familiar place because he's at home. He knows, he goes home every night. It's safe at home every night. And he's just doing what he wants because he can, and that's what he's used to in life. He hasn't really been shown, obviously his father taught him a lot, but he hasn't really been shown the harsh realities of life. But he's experiencing them now with the death of his father. He's experiencing them now with the fact that he's got to get a job. He's got to listen to other people to do his daily tasks. He's got to meet people that he hasn't encountered in his life in a maturity level that he's not used to dealing with. For example, he may be from this area in Japan, but he was dealing with the bar scene for the first time in his life. They might have known him there in the bars, but they're like, kid's not supposed to be in a bar. Here's a glass of milk, you know? Or like, you know, what are you doing here at this time at night? It was pretty scary, and it was probably something he didn't experience before. So the fact that he was experiencing that for the first time in his life, I'll switch the angle as I'm talking because we're still waiting a good, I guess, half hour in game time, which is a few seconds, but he was experiencing all these things for the first time, and Now he's starting to see that, all right, this world means that he's got to grow up. And he's got a long way to go, but he hasn't gotten that far already. But the fact that he's so geared towards this revenge mission, especially right now he's about to get a job, but he's only thinking about getting to Landi. But let's hypothetical question. We're staring at warehouse number 1 right now. What would happen if Goro, which was the guy who was looking to get you a job, says, "Hey, I got you the job," and then behind him walks Landi? What do you think Ryo's first instinct would be? You know, "Landi, I will have my revenge," right? And just go after him. What will happen? Landi would kill him. Game over. Story's over. What's the point? You learn nothing. Obviously, the developer's not going to do that, but it's a sad truth and reality is that some people in this world, and outside of this character, sometimes we do things that we're not ready for, and we don't have experience or the right mindset for. And what ends up happening is that we end up falling. Now, a lot of events that have happened to Ryo up to this point as well haven't all been perfect. If you saw my gameplay, at least it was 2 nights ago, I believe, I was ambushed by Chai in the arcade, or Ryo was ambushed by Chai in the arcade. His ticket was crumbled up in his mouth, and then Chai whooped him. Pretty much beat him up. You think Ryo was ready for that? No. But he fell and he got back up. And that's what we've got to learn. To get back up.
Yo, bro! I've got you a job, man!
Really? Thanks.
But you know, I had to go through quite a lot of hassle for you though, bro!
What'd you say? That'd be the job I found.
Shut your lip, woman!
Hello, Mai.
Hi, Ryo.
Hey! You two know each other?
Airhead here asked me to find it for you. I'm always delivering lunch to Harbor Dorm, so I asked the foreman I know for you.
Batting her little eyes like, "Oh, pretty please, Mr. Foreman, huh?" Ow!
So, where should I go?
Be at the Alpha Trading Office by 2 p.m.
Just ask for Yara-san. You have an appointment.
2 p.m. Yada-san, Alpha Trading Office. Thanks a lot.
See ya!
And now we got the job. Finally. So we gotta go by 2 p.m. to Alpha Trading Office, which is not far at all. It's actually, we would probably think, where is it? Where is it? It's right here. So we'll wait for 2 p.m. Or let's see what happens if I walk in now. Because they said by 2 p.m.
Excuse me,
What do you want?
are you Yada-san?
Yeah, that's me.
Mai-san at the lunch stand mentioned me.
Oh, yes. Mai from the lunch stand. Yes, she did. Can you start right away?
Yes.
Forklifts.
You, ever drive a forklift?
No, sir.
Well... Break something, it'll be deducted.
It's
Yes.
like break something, it'll be done.
Hey, Mark! Come here a sec!
Okay, boss.
Okay, Mark will take it from here.
I see.
Mark, show him how to drive the forklift.
Okay, boss.
Hello, I'm Ryo Hazuki.
Hey, man, I'm Mark. I'm sure we'll get along just fine. Driving the forklift, it's easy. You'll get the hang of it real quick.
Oh, okay.
All aboard?
All aboard. It's forklift time. And there are tons of memes with forklifts, if you don't already know.
Okay, you ready? Let's start your lesson. First,
Let's
turn
go.
the wheel either left or right. Good, that's it. Next, press the accelerator. Press the accelerator harder. Okay, good. Now back
I
up.
tapped it right
Different
first.
from accelerating. Yeah, that's it. Finally try raising and lowering the lift. Okay, not too bad. Now, you try moving that crate. Take that crate to warehouse number 3, just there. First slide the fork under the crate. Then lift the crate and go.
He's teaching you how to work. And then this is an interesting concept because this
Easy,
game is
ain't
like
it?
you lived
Okay,
real
now
life.
it's your turn. Place the crate within the grid marking the floor of the warehouse. Okay, for the rest of the day, you'll be training, alright? Take the rest
Alright.
of the crates to warehouse number 3.
Okay.
I gotta get back to work, so finish the rest yourself.
No problem.
You'll be taking the rest of the crates to warehouse number 3. So now you have to actually work in a job in a video game. It's like, yeah, you might not like this, but this is actual work that people do to make a living. But playing that concept for the first time as a kid, I wasn't a kid. I was honestly 20 years old playing this game. But playing this game as a 20-year-old, actually doing work, and it's like I didn't particularly like that about this game too much because I'm like, I don't want to do this boring stuff. I want to actually take part in the game and actually play more of the story, not do forklift stuff. But what I eventually realized is that this was actually fun after a while, like to try to get the best time, to try to see if you can beat how many boxes you can put into like the one area. And I'm not the neatest person when it comes to stacking all the boxes where they should be, but why not, right? And forklifts become so synonymous with this series that there are a number of tweets that even the main actor of Rio, Corey Marshall, would just like, see a forklift, he has to take a picture next to it because it's just so iconic. And also, when Shenmue 3 was going to be announced, and it wasn't known yet, nobody knew that they were going to announce Shenmue 3. They, the director of Shenmue, Yu Suzuki himself, only tweeted on his Twitter account a forklift. And when he did that, everyone went absolutely crazy. Just nuts. Like, oh my god, Shenmue! They knew what it was immediately. Because the creator of this game tweeting about Shenmue, or tweeting a forklift, meant, oh, we know what's synonymous with forklifts. And the crazy part is that forklifts, or at least the job of carrying forklifts, did not make it onto Shenmue 2 at all. And I believe the thought process behind it was, you know, give more of a variety of the type of work that you can give this character, rather than just the repetitive nature that was a job of carrying forklifts. What was not expected is that over the years, as Shenmue in a way became a cult hit, especially with a lot of new fans being made over time, is that the forklift itself became synonymous and became popular because of this game. So it was almost like mandatory that for Shenmue 3 you had to reincorporate driving forklifts into the game.
Finished for the day.
Finished for the day. That went by pretty quick, at least from this perspective.
Oh, good work.
Thank you.
You're getting used to the forklift.
I suppose so.
About your wage. You start at 300 yen per crate. There's a quota every day, so don't go slacking off.
Yes, sir.
If you do good enough and meet quota, I'll give you a raise.
I understand.
Well, good luck.
Thank you very much.
So he gets paid. He got paid in the morning. He got paid at night. It makes you wonder, like...
Yo,
Mark.
I need you to come tomorrow at 9 a.m., okay?
Yeah, sure.
There's something we gotta do before work.
Before work, really?
Yeah, man. You'll see when you get here. Oh, and don't be late.
Okay.
See, now he's learning. All of that was so that you could learn responsibility. You notice that he stayed quiet. He's like, yeah, got it. Don't be late. I'll be here at work. You know, all of that was important. But what was the point of him getting this job at the docks? To find out about the Mad Angels.
I'm out of here, Mark.
Hey, good work. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm out of here, Mark. Well, why didn't you ask him about the Mad Angels? Who knows? We've got to find out about this gang before we go home, as much as possible. Maybe she'll know something.
Hisaka-san,
Ryo.
do you know anything about the Mad Angels?
Mad? What? I haven't a clue. What is it?
If you don't know, don't worry about it. I'll be on my way.
Yeah.
Nope, she don't know. Let's ask that gentleman or that homeless dude. See if he knows. So at least we did it today. We got the job. Now, this stream won't be going on for much longer, unfortunately, because we've been on over an hour and you guys have been so totally patient with me. But as soon as we get home, we'll end the day, we'll end the stream, and we'll continue on tomorrow, because that's almost like 2 days that we spent playing this. But maybe I'll ask.
Goro,
What's grooving, bro?
you know about the Mad Angels?
Oh yeah. Working hard, eh, bro?
Why are you shouting?
Don't you know, bro? You don't say that name so loud.
Why not?
Just because.
You know about the Mad Angels?
He doesn't get it.
Hey! Oh, bro! Didn't I ask you not to say that so loud? That kind of talk is taboo around here.
Why?
I ain't privy to say. I don't know what you're trying to find out about, but I wouldn't be as indiscreet as you're being if I's you.
Oh, about
The Mad Angels.
I done told you, bro. Don't say that so loud. Extreme bad news, that gang.
Really? See you around.
You bet, bro.
Well, you helped me none, but I'll see you around. I don't see the homeless guy around here. Let's see if Tom knows anything.
Tom,
Hi, Rio.
I've got something to ask you. Do you know a group called the Mad Angels?
Oh no! They are very dangerous, man. Ryo, don't get mixed up with them.
Do you know anything else?
They ride motorcycles around and attack people. Lots of homeless at the harbor get attacked and beaten by them.
That's vicious, huh?
Real crazy mothers.
Really?
Alright, homeless get attacked, so it's definitely gotta be that homeless dude. But where'd he go? He's not in his usual spot where he's sat down. And if it's quitting time, why do forklift drivers continue to drive at night? And I don't know if you've ever experienced this crazy thing, but you'll experience it when I have the forklift. Let's ask at the tomato shop. When I'm driving the forklift, has this ever happened to you? You bump into another forklift driver and then they just disappear? That happens all the time. I mean.
Yes? What
it's
is
this
it?
person.
Do you know anything about the Mad Angels?
Hey, watch what you say. Don't talk about them so loudly.
Okay. About the Mad Angels?
You're way too attractive to want to hang with them.
Too
We should
flirty.
aim for better things than
Like
life
show
on the
business.
harbor. I know all about how to get an audition.
No, I'm not interested.
No thanks. All right. Let's go here. Looks like let's see. Sorry, I was actually getting text from my job. Actually, I'll have to end this stream shortly. Actually, I should probably end it now. When work calls, you gotta do what you gotta do. It never ends. Anyway, on that note, I'm probably just gonna go home anyway. We didn't find out anything about the Mad Angels, but I will save. Right, oh, I almost exited without saving. I will save. Definitely check out my streaming schedule going forward. I'm going to stream Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays on a consistent basis going forward. So this is my last Friday stream, but I just wanted to keep up with the schedule. If you want to know definitely my schedule, if I make changes, you can actually look up the schedule on twitch.tv and just go to what my schedule is, and I'll keep that updated so that you can make sure to never miss another episode. This was totally fun. What did we find out today? Nothing much, except we've got to look more towards what's going on with the Mad Angels, and we got that job, which is what we wanted to do. But definitely thank you for joining this live stream. On YouTube, if you're watching this later, make sure to go to twitch.tv/Magnus547 so you can watch live, or at least keep up to my schedule to watch live. Or if you feel like it, you could just watch the replays on my YouTube channel or even on stream on Twitch. Anyway, thank you as always. You can make my day if you subscribe or follow today. This is Magnus, and I'm out. This was fun. See you guys later.